I mean, all right, listen, we've had a lot of fucking action the last 2 weeks, bro.
Yeah.
Even since last Wednesday, it's been kind of busy out here.
I know.
It gets me excited, man. It gets me a little hype. It gets me a little juiced, you know?
Yeah.
It's just happening. People are talking.
And we both have strong personalities and brands and opinions on stuff.
If you want to grow, you know, as an NFT artist right now, the best place to do it is Twitter. You know, there are, of course, flaws, and because it's the number one place, you're going to have all the fucking idiots out here too. You know, flip dicks and all that shit. But it's the you know, town square of NFTs, whether people like it or not. So you should be out here. Now, expanding outside of Twitter, of course you should expand outside of Twitter. You know, you should have an Instagram. You should be on YouTube. You should be, you know, expanding yourself across all these platforms, you know, even now Reddit if you want, just to have a presence there. But, you know, when I see trends like this come along, you know, like, oh, Reddit's the next thing. Everyone's on Reddit, you know. The two things that pop into my mind are, okay, Reddit NFTs popped off this week. Reddit NFTs dropped in July, and Reddit dropped their first NFTs in June 2021. So in my mind, if somebody was that bullish on Reddit as a platform for NFTs, they would have been using it months ago before, you know, this pump this last week. And, you know, building and recognizing the genuine utility that Reddit can provide for an NFT founder, an artist or creator, whatever. But to jump on it after it's, you know, already popped off, and, you know, there's probably not going to be a lot of room on Reddit right now, especially for people, creators like us. One, because these people on Reddit barely have an understanding that they're collecting NFTs. And two, they have an incredibly negative connotation and perception on NFTs and digital collectibles in general. And, you know, we can talk about the benefits of rebranding NFTs to digital collectibles to, you know, better attract the mainstream. But when they find out that the digital collectible is the same thing as the NFT they hated 2 weeks ago, you know, that onboarding process is going to make them feel duped. So I think about that too. And then I think about, like, you know, people talk about, like, oh my God, this fucking Reddit thing, like they onboarded 3 million wallets and, you know, has this many more wallets than OpenSea. Gosh darn, you know, I would hope that Reddit with a user base of what, Jay, keep me honest here, 500 million people would be able to, you know,
pull 3 million of whatever they wanted. You're right.
Exactly. If this is such a genius branding and marketing push to, you know, onboard people with different language and NFTs, I would expect more than, what percentage is that? 0.5% of their user base to buy into it. So I would just, you know, take everything you see on the timeline with a grain of salt. Take everything you see and you know, look into it, you know, give it its fair shake and see, like, what's going on, and see how valuable is it for you and how much time should you put in it according to that value. In my mind, Twitter is the most valuable place for me. It's not going to be the same for everybody. That's just my spiel, I guess, intro to this whole Reddit conversation.
No, fucking, I think you're spot on. I think so a few ways. Number one, a lot of it, that the Reddit chatter that we saw on Twitter and we'll still see, keep in mind, it's just engagement farming version 13.
Right? It's the trend of the day, right?
It is. It's just as cringe as the latest TikTok dance or the latest Island Boys freestyle, right? So, but it's fun. It's okay. It's fun and it's valuable, right? And, you know, I've shared some thoughts from my point of view. But most people really don't give a shit. They just, they're not very creative. They're not very intelligent. They need something. They need low-hanging fruit to post to get reactions, and whatever, that's fine. I know I was kind of a dick the way I said it, but that's fine. I think this 3 million people creating wallets, and I haven't even said this yet out loud. I think the Reddit thing will do more to bring other industry, other businesses into our space
I would
than
agree
it
with
will
that.
to bring additional consumers.
Yeah, like a B2B kind of thing for sure.
Yep.
Like,
I think they'll be like, holy shit, okay, this is someone who has never vibed with the NFT, whatever
exactly.
I think of that. And 3 million? Wow. Well, we have a base of blah, blah, blah. We could do this. I think that'll be the legs of this thing.
Plus, this is like the first iteration of somebody trying to onboard people through NFTs, like in this way, where
without
it's not
us.
it's almost like an indirect onboard,
Yeah.
Different than like a Starbucks, where they're implementing that into their ecosystem as like a gamified experience. This feels more one-to-one with what like a PFP NFT is, or like what we would all consider the mainstream NFT application so far.
Well, and they actually got these people to create wallets, right? That's a big part of all of this. Anybody can, airdrop free NFTs, but that's some of the biggest value there is like these people took action, whatever it would be, however user-friendly they made it. They now own wallets that can accept.
Right. But in my mind, it's like people will, and I think you're spot on. Like, I think people will look at what Reddit did and say like, okay, it was a more successful onboarding and probably a different way of onboarding than a lot of Web 2 businesses have previously tried, like the Cokes, the Pepsis, not so much. Nike did it well. Adidas. But like, to me, it's like, okay, how does the gaming industry take that? Where it's like, okay, there's a precedent for people who hate NFTs, a small chipping off a small percentage of that huge population and bringing them in. How do you do that more intelligently and, through a smoother, probably more honest and genuine onboarding process? It's more about education than marketing, right?
User experience. And this is probably, I mean, whoever headed this up at Reddit, I would like to shake their hand. But now all of the sudden, Reddit is a leader in our space, right? Especially to all these other businesses. So think about this. Other businesses that see this thing and like, wow, okay, this is really catching on. They don't even have to replicate what Reddit did. They just have to align themselves with Reddit and access their users. Boom.
And here's the thing, though, is like what we have to think about and like to sort of temper that, not so much expectation, but like that possibility is like the same people that, that are looking at this same thing are these fucking influencers. They smell fucking blood in the water, money instantly. Did you see how quickly when fucking these Reddit shits popped off, fucking Franklin was on there doing an AMA. Fucking Farouk was on there doing an AMA. What they see is the same thing as the Solana influencers saw with Magic Eden. It's just the exact same thing. And if those are the people that are like gonna,
those aren't our ambassadors.
Reddit, like holy fuck. Like that's the problem with like the state of NFTs right now is like anytime we have this opportunity to branch out, the people that are going to be branching out first and most loudly are going to be the worst of us because the worst of us are the most popular. And
it's you're right. And it's what you said coming out of the gate. And, I was thinking about it a lot yesterday. It's like, I sound like an asshole, if I'm posting, hey, everybody, as you're going over to Reddit and joining these digital collectible groups or whatever, like, y'all be cool, be ease into this. But like, and I don't know who it was, a guy named Alex, pretty big account, posted, and I was like, dude, I would be surprised if those users didn't get turned off. Like,
Totally.
they've been doing this thing for what, 8 months in their own ecosystem. All of a sudden, a bunch of quote unquote experts come into the space that, let's face it, some of them carried that NFT Twitter ego with them, right? Which is understandable. That's human nature. But of course, they're not going to react great to it. I'm surprised there wasn't more quote unquote backlash, and I don't really know how much there was, but you're right. The loudest people aren't always the best people, myself included.
Fuck off. It's like the people that, or the reason that these people hate NFTs is in large part because of these people that will be, now leading this conversation for us. Which is why, I am not going to sit here and tell everybody listening in this audience that, oh my God, you need to go make a fucking subreddit right now and post all of your art there. And it's going to be like something that helps you sell a bunch of shit.
Right.
I don't think it's going to be.
No.
It feels like, to me, this is the best way I can put it, is that it feels like the lack, or not the lack, but the level of informed people in the space over there reminds me of like March of 2021, right? Where like people had no idea what the fuck was going on.
Right.
But only this time there is this group of like very predatory people that do know what's going on, that's going to go over there and try to take advantage of this, like, fucking 3 million fledgling wallets.
Fresh blood.
That's all it is to me. Is like, I don't see it as this huge opportunity for us. I see it as this huge opportunity for another quick drain for a lot of influencers.
And I think, so if you, again, take my advice with a grain of salt, but if you're listening and you are interested in, claiming some space on Reddit, I would say this, more so than any other platform probably right now. It's a long game, right? It's going to be probably similar to what you did in Twitter, is be there, get your, claim your space, join some existing communities, ease your way into it, and over a period of time, build authentic relationships and engagement. Don't come in like a wrecking ball. It's just, and again, who the fuck am I? But if you're going to do that, I think it's a great idea, but I don't think it's somewhere you go every day. I think if you want to create a space and pop over once a week and add some content, that definitely helps your digital footprint, but treat it like a long game. If you like my advice, if not, fuck.
Not like you're completely right, because I think what you're saying is like like a better way of saying what I was saying earlier. Like, it reminds me of Twitter back in March. Like, to grow my Twitter account from what I started 0 back in fucking March, to what it is right now, that's all day, everyday thing. Like, that's long game times. Like, you have to, like, that was this is still the long game. And that's like, to me, putting that much effort into another platform right now isn't feasible or sustainable, but not everybody is in the same place, right? So like, you could go all in on 2, 3, 4 platforms. I don't have that mental capacity, but people do.
And on Reddit and on these other platforms, what we're talking, especially Reddit, it's going to be for those who have gotten used to NFT Twitter, your rate of engagement is going to be a fucking wake-up call. Outside of NFT Twitter, engagement does not work like it works here, right? I've got a substantial account on YouTube, Instagram, and you're in line with industry standards, which is very low. I mean, millions of followers to get 100 likes per post, so That's another thing. I think that's good, though. I think it's a wake-up call, a little reality check to show us what we have here. Number one, how valuable what we've built here is.
Facts.
But number two, okay, now it's helping me see things from an outside perspective. Like the same memes aren't going to hit in other places as they hit with us, right? Like, and they shouldn't. It just, you can't tell certain jokes in church, right? Like it's just a different situation. So
Yeah,
I say if you dive into Reddit, play the long game. I think it'll pay off. I mean, there's 3 million people over there, at least,
right. Yeah.
right? So
exactly, and like so, this is an outlier. All right, this is just me fucking around. But like, so this is how I've decided to use Reddit. I've decided to use Reddit for Twitter content because it's really fucking funny over there. You get you get down into the nitty gritty talking to these people who are, buying these avatars and like actually have these opinions of like, that's barely an NFT. And I laughed so hard yesterday, like for so long. And it just kept getting better and better. So I made that tweet about like yesterday about how like, Reddit is just redefining all these fucking words that we all use.
But isn't that society right now? Recession doesn't mean recession anymore.
Exactly. I mean, it's just like, it's putting a Band-Aid on the underlying issue and not solving the underlying issue. But, like, okay, fine, whatever. So there's this fucking r/NFT subreddit. Okay, like, let's go in there. So I in my username, I didn't change it to hash bastards. I just put, it was auto-generated to technical ad, which is, in my mind, the best fucking auto-generated username I could have ever gotten. I almost never want to change it. But so I fucking post a screenshot of that tweet, right? I'm like, yo, is this a valid point? Or are we getting Trojan horse? And I shit you not, Jay, that shit blew up and was the number 2 trending post last night on that fucking subreddit.
Fuck yeah. And see, just a disclaimer, do as we say, not as he does.
Yes, exactly.
That's like, not everybody's brand is built for that. But, Hash is a fucking jackass, and that's jackass behavior, and it works for him, right? We're all here because of it, partially.
Well, and here's the thing, though, is so, like, I was, like, having a fucking blast with it on Twitter. I was like, oh, my fucking God, look at all these morons. Oh, my God, I got them. And then this morning I wake up and the moderators took the post down. They took the post down. And I was like, hold on. This had like 90% upvotes. This had like fucking 70 plus upvotes. Had like 15, almost 20K views. And like 120 comments. But they got mad. I trolled their asses. They took that shit down.
They're on to you.
So, I mean, that was just so much fucking fun. I haven't laughed that hard in fucking days.
And the last little thing I want to, well, not the last thing, but the thing I'll say, and I've kind of always said this, so, fucking scroll TikTok while I'm talking if you hate everything I'm about. I don't think, and I know this is pretty obvious, but there's nothing inherently wrong with the letters NFT, right? There is,
ew, gross.
Yeah, exactly. There is, we don't have a branding problem under that name, but what we have is most people on this planet simply don't know what that is, right? And so their brain tries to make sense of it when they hear it. And
it's an awareness problem.
Yes, the ones that do have something to say about it, their brain goes to this random scam picture they saw shared on Instagram, right? Or this random news piece about a $1 million monkey picture. So I don't think we have a bad reputation because they don't even know what we do, right? They've just got a skewed view of what it is. And still most humans on the planet won't even comment on it, right? Because we're not even on their radar. So
people still say like, "Oh, it's bad for the environment."
Yeah, and that's their go-to, and you can see that I get that on my YouTube channel. And again, I will say, I'm pretty good at, well, I won't say pretty good, but I'm pretty good at like bringing them around and like confronting them, but in a polite way. And they're like, "Oh, wow, you brought up good points. I didn't know those." Just because I understand, I know you don't know. Right. And I know that I could call you a jackass and say that, "Oh, you probably still don't use the internet, that newfangled internet thing," but whatever. They just don't know what we have. So digital collectible, call it a Farfignugan. I don't give a shit. whatever the fuck we call it.
I'm bullish on whatever the fuck you
Yeah, Farfignugan's mooning. We've got to fucking take control of the narrative. And again, I know not everybody can manage 5 social media platforms, but the ones that can, we do it. And that's one of the ways we regain control of our narrative, right? Because if there's some people, but on the whole, we're not out there telling our story, and so we're letting like whatever seeps out through the edges or whatever our opponents want to share. We're letting them tell our story. And obviously that's what I've been talking about for a year and a half. So I'll shut up.
No, that's facts though. Like, and I think the like that getting to that place is like a part of your NFT journey where it's like, okay, I'm trying to survive out here first and foremost, right? I'm trying to be successful. And then it's like, if you reach a point where you can start thinking about the ecosystem as a whole, like that's when it's like, okay,
right.
Cause like, I feel like that responsibility of like controlling the narrative is really hard for people who are just trying to establish themselves as a creator out here.
No, you're right. You're right. And I don't want to make anybody feel bad for not doing that, right? That's kind of my brand. Yeah. And so I talk about it, but I totally understand, like, if I created art, that would be the only thing I fucking talk. Like, I get it. Great point.
And it's like that. This this is where Jay Gray and I balance each other out, because I'm the troll one, and he's like, okay, yeah, don't do that, right? Like, and he like his brand is like branding, and letting you all know like what's out there and like how this works and why it would be beneficial. And then you can decide what is like beneficial for you to use in your everyday life that you feel is like sustainable for your project.
That's it.
Like we have our own personal brands and our own personal goals and objectives. But like where we, have our conversations and come together is like, what works best and what is going to work best and what works best for the most people. Right.
Yes. And that's always, and I forget to specify it sometimes. Balake fusses at me for like apologizing at the end of my rants or whatever. But at the end of the day, everything I put out there, it's just, for whoever, if anybody sees anything of value, pick little pieces of it, right? And implement it into your vibe.
Totally.
You might need to change and, restructure, but, I don't expect everybody to, look up user demographics every day. You know what I'm saying? That's stupid. That's my thing. And I do that so people can cherry pick and hopefully find some value there. And, Hash does too, right? He same thing there. But now we do have, we're a pretty good couple.
Bro, my fucking wife's down here, bro. Don't say that shit.
What's up? Wonder, hey. How are you?
I'm good. I wanted to join the Reddit conversation because I've been on Reddit as Wonder Mundo for one day, but I've been on Reddit for like 10 years. And I wanted to say that like everything you said about approaching it, Jay Gray, like that's correct. And I say I've been on Wonder Mundo as one day is because even though I'm on there daily with like my other account, I never posted about NFTs. I really just kind of lurked because I understood the community was just not there for it. And also, like, Reddit is a place where anyone, if you want to go there, like, each subreddit is a very different place. Imagine like different Twitters, for example. And on top of that, like, the number one thing that Reddit people hate is self-promotion. So like, if you're going there for sales, like, don't even try, in my opinion.
Right.
You go there to connect with people and make friends. Like, you go to each subreddit and it's just people who like that topic and like to talk about it.
It's like a Discord.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so like, I joined as Wondermundo to, I'm only in one subreddit that's friendly right now, which is like avatar trading, and did not go in there saying I'm Wondermundo, because they don't give a shit. And that's how other people went in as well.
Right.
And like, they laughed them away. And just said, hey, I'm new here. Just saying hi. And like, just looking to connect, show me around, like, what can I do? And I will say that they're friendly in that way. But if you're looking to share your art or promote it, like, that's not going to work. If you're just trying to like build bridges, or just connect with more people and make friends, then yes, do it.
I love it. And now I want to slide this in there, and then I promise I'll back off. One of the other reasons I think it's important to claim space over there is in the world of SEO, right? Search engine optimization, and analyzing why certain things are higher up in Google searches. Because remember, most people on this planet Google things to learn about them. They don't NFT Twitter them, right? But these days, a lot of internet searchers are wise to, promoted results, right? And so more and more, there's data coming out that when people search the internet, when they see Reddit, they see a citation of whatever they're looking for on Reddit, they value that very highly, right? And it's because of what Wonder just said, because they believe that it comes from an authentic user testimonial type place, as opposed to a being sold something. And I think there's so much value there. And I know, SEO isn't a huge topic in the NFT space, but being found on the internet, having your name pop up on trusted sites is always important.
I mean, that's like what makes you marketable type shit. And it's like, the people, putting out fucking, ads on Google, those are the people that have fucking money, right? And the best way to, if you have your name in all these fucking places, that's just as good. And it's like, what this is telling me is like, it's putting these social media platforms on a tier list of like the ones that you should be paying attention to more, right? For your project. Like, to me, Reddit, and putting a focus on Reddit might be more beneficial than Facebook.
Right. And people, this is another tip. If you're really looking for real people's authentic feedback, and you go to Google to search something, a lot of people give a tip to type Reddit in. Say, if I'm looking for gardening tips, type Reddit in the search bar after gardening tips. And what you'll find is right, Reddit threads or communities, whatever they're called. And again, people are really searching for that more authentic feedback there. And I think that's an important, piece of the puzzle with all of this.
You're 100% right. And then I want to throw it back over to Wonder. But like, this is, my guilty pleasure for what I use Reddit for is like, and this has been, me since I was a fucking a young boy teenager growing up on YouTube. But like, all that YouTube drama, dude, like, I eat that shit up. And like, recently, that fucking Try Guy shit where the dude cheated on his wife. Oh my fucking God. That was entertainment for like 3-4 days for me. And it was just like, I was like scrolling through that the Try Guy subreddit, because it's like people talking about this and pulling information from from TikTok, from Twitter, and YouTube comments, and putting it all in one place. So it really is like an organized Discord, like chat room forum And I agree with Wonder. It's definitely like connecting over selling. Wonder, what's up? We fucking
no, I was
took
saying,
5
yeah,
minutes away from you.
just to add to that, like, you're absolutely right about it, because the other thing, like, because they hate, it's not about self promotion or shilling. There's even a subreddit called Hell Corporate, where if your post appears to be genuine, but like is showing like praise for a corporation or something, they're like, "Hi, Pepsi, thank you," and like it goes into Hell Corporate, and people immediately don't trust it. So I just
There's a
want to add
subreddit
to
for
that.
everything.
Yeah. Yeah, and like even if it appears genuine, but you're like saying Pepsi changed my life, they'll start out saying like, "Yeah, right, get out of here, Pepsi."
And look, I know the NFT space. I kind of critique some of us for not valuing profit or shying away from, making money. So like, just keep in mind that like there are places, like there's not one thing is true. Many things can be true at the same time, right? This is a great place for community. This is a great place for this, right? It doesn't mean don't ever try to sell, right? Because that you won't sell anything. But it's, again, that long game. Imagine if 6 months down the road, you had exposed yourself, your personality to, 5,000 new people, 10, 20,000 new people. Like that would be a net positive. Those people, if you really connect with them, are going to be open to checking out your Twitter, right? And coming to see the other side of you, so to speak. They might Google your username or ask, what do you do for a living? Right. But
Or they might ask you for their art. Like just yesterday, I had several people ask me because I introduced myself as an artist and said I'm just here to learn. They're like, "Oh, where can I see your art?" And I
boom.
just said, "Check out my profile. It has my page." And
So
boom,
it's a connection. It's not like
yeah,
you're trying
exactly.
to sell them something.
It's organic, right? That's the definition of organic. Organic doesn't mean don't sell. Organic just means have some goddamn social skills. Right.
And I think like
read the room.
It's not even it's like you can, it sounds disgusting, but like you can manufacture organic, or like you like if you know how to approach a situation, you can make it feel organic. And like you can, and like it's evil because you want it to be organic, but it's like how to not be a dick, basically. Right.
No, you're exactly right. Like every human is selling something every minute of the day, whether you're selling yourself to your romantic partner or you're selling yourself to your boss, or everything
my
you
ass
do
on the corner
is sales. Exactly.
Selling feet pics on Reddit.
When he trolls on Grindr.
Wait.
What? Did I say that? I meant the sub. I don't know of anything else.
Yeah, it's a subreddit. It's a subreddit. Fuck.
Yeah, it's a Reddit. It's a subway Reddit. But it's all
our
of
Grindr
this
feet.
Yeah. All of this shit is very fun, right? Like it's fun to maybe even reinvent yourself, right? Build a community with a different face forward, and maybe not go with some of the preconceived notions of that you might have built in the NFT space or on Twitter.
Especially, that's such a good point. Especially if you're like feeling burned out, or like you feel like you're beating a dead horse. Like you've tried everything, nothing's working. Like I love that Empress and Wonder, and who else was leading that charge. They were like, "Fuck this shit, we're gonna go to Tumblr." I mean, it's wherever the community goes, they're gonna, they'll use that platform. And if there's a community there, you can curate a community for your platform.
And I love that with that thing. I keep repeating it. One of the most impactful things I heard from Empress, and probably Wonder too, during that was there are specific reasons, right? Like copywriting is important, right? Like we can't talk to people face to face. So like your
real storytelling, not fucking storytelling NFTs.
Yes. If you don't catch my tweet right when I quote it, you ain't going to fucking get it, right? It's not going to be the same. But on a platform like Tumblr, there's a blog, right? You've got a timeline. It's easier to go back and look and see where I was last week, or,
Dude.
you know, and I really love that part.
Listen, like, so this is brand, like, this just came out on Twitter like a few months ago, I think. But like, it was like a real, like, I've never been this excited for something, like, in a minute, for this exact reason that you're talking about. You know, Twitter, it's volume, it's more volume, right? And it's harder to be telling a greater story over time.
It's conversational.
Like, Twitter now has an option where you can integrate a newsletter right onto your profile. Yep. And it's literally right under where people are like following you. There's like, oh, subscribe to my newsletter.
Shout out to Wonder, I just signed up for that newsletter this week.
Oh, I'm about to sign up. What the fuck, too? Let's go.
Awesome, because I'm doing one this week because I haven't in months. I'm bringing it back.
That's so fire. See, let's go.
And I want to say that I've been doing this, I think, since early this year, thanks to Empress, who started it. And so she is a trailblazer on this one.
See, she's like, I the first person I saw do it was maybe it was Empress, and then it was NFT God. And
I said this last night. NFT God has got high quality information in my fucking inbox and on Twitter. I like that person, guy, whatever he is, they are.
Yep.
I said that the other day. That was actually a perfect example on Epic and I's space. I was like, that's the first one I think of. And Jason Chambers that we had on, he does that
great
and
too, yeah.
delivers a lot of value. And now keep in mind, this email newsletter, it's going to be one of those things where culture shock, engagement shock, your open rate is not going to be probably what you want it to be, but that's okay. That's a knowable thing. We understand that there's ways to dial in and increase your open rate, but you're not going to get, if you've got an email list of 1,000 people, you're not going to get 200 people opening and fucking digesting your email, but it's okay. It's a piece of the puzzle.
Yep. And it's like, to me, in my mind, like, there's a couple reasons why I'm so hyped on it. Like, I've been researching this newsletter thing for like probably a month and a half now, probably maybe 2 months, and just seeing like, okay, what do these people do? How is it, what do they even talk about? But it's like, something like a newsletter is something that works very well for my personal brand, because it's like Jay, I even do those weekly bastard like newspaper.
Yep.
Where all 5 of the daily bastards from the week,
exactly
thing. So
that's a perfect lead in right there, right? And then so the other thing is recordings of maybe one of your spaces from the week. Dude, right? That's a great thing to drop in.
So that's like, so I was fucking, I've worked on it for about like a week, and there's so many things you can add in there. You can, it has all the formatting. I forget what the fuck the platform is called. It's like Review or something through Twitter. I think you're right. There's so many of them out there, but that's what I would say. Like, that's the one that I'm talking about, that links literally right to your fucking, it's integrated to your
Get
Twitter
Review
profile.
And use it. So I talk about this a lot. One of the ways to, I'm not a social media engagement hack guy. I advise against it. One of the fundamentally sound ways to gain ground and be in good standing with the algorithm is do the things that they want you to do. When a social media platform adds a new feature, they want you to use it. Use it, right? Can you see where that makes sense? And you can get some favorable content distribution by utilizing the tools that they implement, right? And I've seen major strides happen there, but we don't like the algorithm. It's not our friend, but you don't have to fight it, right? Sometimes you got to work with it, and that's a great way. Take advantage of new features when they're launched, because that's what they want.
And it's like like this feature itself, like it impressed the fuck out of me, which is, you know, why I was interested in it. Because, you know, like for me to put a lot of effort into something, like I want it to be like a good feature, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I want to see how I can use it long term. And like I can link tweets, I can link images, I can link videos, I can link websites, I can link spaces, anything and everything like that you would want to share from Twitter is integrated into this platform that Twitter uses for this newsletter thing. And I'm just so fucking excited about it. Like, you know, you're exactly right. People, it's hard for people to want to subscribe to something. First of all, second of all, it's hard for people to fucking open a fucking email, right?
Right.
But you know, part of me is not even wanting, like, I just like the fact that I'm going to have like an aggregated like summary of everything I worked on during the week, and it's also delivered as like a current events update because that's everything I'm doing anyway.
Well, and this is a huge problem in the space, and I hear it from people outside of our friend group, and we all know it. Communication, there's a breakdown, right, between NFT artists or NFT collections and their holders. Every day we see this, and I hear stories where I see somebody, oh, I missed this airdrop, I didn't know. Especially as we have all, you know, sort of maybe backed off of Discord a little bit. But even then, you know, founders and artists having a direct line of communication with their holders, that's the secret sauce, right? Even more so than new sales, I would even say sometimes. Communicating with holders. And that's something we haven't solved in Web3 so far. And I actually got in an argument with a lady, a very good friend of mine, on Telegram. You know, we were on this voice chat, and I was talking about how I really wish NFT artists and collections and founders would revisit email, right? Well, I know it doesn't, you know, you're not going to get great open rates, but this way, when a holder comments on your Twitter, hey, I never knew we were doing this. Well, we emailed you, right? Mm-hmm. Or, hey, have you signed up for our thing, right? It's just creating more, you know, reducing pain points. And I absolutely like it. Wonders, all of y'all adopting this new shit. Y'all are badasses.
Yeah. I mean, fucking Empress and Wonder, of course, they've, you know, been on this shit and been using it. And of course, I'm fucking months behind. But, you know, I don't see a lot of people using it. So it's like, I want to tell people that this is here because it's like, oh my God, like we've been talking for weeks about how valuable something as like silly as an email list is. Yep. And this is a second, like a secondary output of this is a fucking email list of all of your, you know, most engaged people.
And I think a lot of people look around, they're like, well, I don't check my email, right? And this is, again, it goes back to what I'm always talking about, right? You're not the average human on this planet, though.
Some people do.
Yeah, a lot of people, like, it's still an accepted...
If it's a work email, especially?
Dude, exactly. It's still accepted in the greater marketing world. And trust me, people that live their lives marketing, they don't do things that have no reward. Like,
yeah, one of our biggest deliverables in my job is email templates.
Yeah.
Everybody uses emails.
Boom. That right there is huge.
Well, and just on that, hi, I'm here.
Empress, hey. Yeah, me and Jay, no more talking. It's fucking boys club up here. What the fuck?
No, but on email stuff, it's very targeted because people, like, they're signing up for it because they want to hear about your stuff. Like, they specifically like you so much that they want you in their email. And also, like, Twitter chats and stuff are great for, like, group chats and just, like, very temporal communication. But most of the time when I'm working on a project with someone, I immediately tell them to email me because my email is my business, too. And it's so much easier to digest and organize content when it's in an email and I can search out things and I can manage my projects easier.
And try sharing a high quality fucking file on Twitter.
Yeah, exactly. That doesn't. I can't share work in progresses on Twitter, and so I primarily use Telegram and email to work on projects with people because it's just a clusterfuck on Twitter. That's, I mean, what it is. And it's just not a good project management tool. It's a good connection tool, but not necessarily like keeping myself organized tool.
Yes.
I agree. I made my whole career.
Religiously.
Go ahead, Hesh.
I was going to say, I check my email religiously, right? Like, that's part of my daily routine because it's built into my job. And I'm not, and I, so is checking my Discord, so is checking my Twitter notifications. The one place where I slip is my DMs, right? Like, that's where I have a hard time keeping up, because it can get messy. That's where it gets the messiest, is your DMs.
Yeah.
Well, and also probably most artists in the space check their emails pretty habitually, or at least have notifications on because of your item just sold or a bid just came in email. And that's like how we're communicated to on ETH. On Tezos, like there's a Telegram bot, which is why I'm on Telegram. So, yeah.
And like, I just emailed you the other day.
I'll take you seriously if I'm like, okay, let's email.
Yeah. And now I'm going to learn about this, the one that Twitter is letting us use, but more than likely there is a feature where you can either share that link outside of Twitter, say, hey, here's the opt-in, the sign up list for my email address, or you can add, it was always with CSV files for me, but you can add it. Say you have an email list outside of there, you can add them.
You can import it.
There you go. You can import it. I've got lists that I built my career on since 2013 that are all vape shop and cannabis shop owners, right? So, not really a great match, but I've got a retail list, when I had a retail website that, not going to be a great open rate there, but, you should be able to import them. And, what a great way to give people, it's a call to action, right? And data says that everything, almost every piece of content we put out should have a call to action of some sort. But what an easy one. Just pop over to my profile, sign up for my newsletter list, if you will. We're doing giveaways there. I'll keep you posted. That's a sensible call to action. I think a lot of people won't find invasive.
Exactly. Like, think about how easy it is to say, like, hey, yeah, go follow me and subscribe to my newsletter. Because it's literally in the same, it's 2 centimeters away for your finger. It's 2 clicks. And it's like, that's fucking huge to me. It's like, if we're using Twitter, like, primarily, and they're giving us this fucking incredible tool to not only, like, further engage your audience, but then curate your own email list from them and then deliver them content. And then, like, I don't know if you've noticed, but like most of the people, the big accounts have that little fucking newsletter thing. So It's like all these things are like clicking in my mind, and I'm like, okay, this makes it almost like it's too good to be true, makes too much sense. But like, dude, I'm fucking full steam ahead. I fucking love it.
And with Twitter being so notoriously bad at converting, right? It's tough to share links on Twitter and get Twitter users to click through to other websites. So it's a great tool. And honestly, Twitter is trying to work on that. Not too hard, but they're trying to provide some tools where we have better success clicking through because they know they're bad at it. So that's a step in that direction. And everybody understands that. When you buy something from Amazon, email, right? Like all of a sudden, in maybe a subconscious way, you're on a tier with companies people already do business with, right? You're not asking them to learn something brand new in order to communicate with you. That's another obstacle, and we got to limit those.
And here's the thing, like, anytime I've ever done a collab with any artist in NFTs, like I've emailed them. which to me shows me that every active artist out here that I respect has an email and uses it. But then sometimes I'll because I have my fucking Hash Bastards email and I have my fucking work email. Sometimes I'll fucking just send people shit from my work email because it's like, fuck it, I don't even care. Like, you know me, I don't give a fuck. And then it has your little like work title on it too, so it makes you seem more legit.
Yeah, well, I'm so glad you brought that up. That's so fucking phenomenal. I don't want to cut that conversation, but I've been thinking a whole lot about 2023, right?
Mm-hmm.
Social audio, especially in our space, was such a big thing with Twitter Spaces. And, we kind of all saw that coming. And a few things, and they're obvious, but a few things moving into 2023, if you're looking to maybe catch some new attention or get ahead, is live streaming and podcasting, right? And Twitter spacing and podcasting almost in line. Yep. But podcasting has had a major rebirth over the past year, and it is still skyrocketing.
Wait, Jigger, are you telling me that you are recommending more content creation?
Yeah, that's
let's go.
You would never believe me to say it's out of pocket for me. Yeah, I was actually. So I'm gonna.
But like, bro, like I
fresh
fucking
market.
Real quickly, like
yeah,
I respect the fuck out of that take because like I truly believe that we are like the next gen content creators. PK brought it up. And I agree with him 100%. Is like we are the early YouTubers.
And
live about 5 minutes, by the way.
Live streaming as an artist is so good for everything.
Boom.
And I know so many artists who do live stream, like Purrs Beats, AJ, Cats Will Eat You. Like, there's so many people who are doing it because not only are you sharing your process, which helps other artists, you're getting out there the fact, like, you're showing that you actually created the work that you are creating, and it just
it builds a lot of value.
It builds a lot of value for end pieces. Like, since I started doing like posting my VR content on YouTube, it's like it hasn't taken off hella much, but it's grown a very core following of artists who love to watch it.
Yeah.
Because they like just like working along with me, like they're working on their own thing, but they like just feeling like they're being able to work with me.
It's a vibe.
It's a vibe, and it's like a lot of us artists really do like it because it's like we are in our studio holes. Yeah. And we want to feel like we have friends and are connected and we're all working virtually, and it's a way to feel like we're like working together. And I think like collectors like it in general too, because it does show provenance. It shows that I did make this, and it shows that like I care enough to like share my content too to help other artists, which just is a win-win-win for everyone.
And that shit's entertaining, right? For me, I'm not an artist, so it blows my mind to see or to imagine how you folks create what you create. But that's going to be, and I'm going to throw one other use case out here. So imagine you've got an NFT project, and I'm going to talk about Fresh Market, right? So Fresh, great art, puts out great art, but they pick up trash as a utility, right? Their holders hold them accountable to pick up a certain amount of garbage. Live streaming that on Saturday mornings, viral. I mean, that's a great example of another way to utilize a huge content opportunity, even if you're not, painting or drawing or doing those things. Hey, Neil, I think Neil has a podcast in the space. I met him on TikTok, and we were just kind of talking about live streaming and podcasts. Neil, are you there?
Yeah, no, I definitely don't have a podcast. I don't have the chops for that, but I do host Twitter Spaces from time to time. And
There it is. I'm sorry.
yeah, no, it's all good. No, you guys were, talking about, live streaming and, allowing the artist is allowing the audience to actually, view or, kind of quasi participate in the creation. And the word that sticks out to me that's in my head is that the artist and the buyer, I mean, because that's essentially what it is. You have a buyer that's going to be buying your art. You're creating a sense of trust. I mean, and that is, a very important principle during any transaction. You're not going to do business with somebody that you don't trust. Now, we are talking about NFTs and whatnot. So,
it's accelerated trust, right? They will connect a lot quicker that way than, random tweets or the traditional space. I think you agree. It's an acceleration of that trust, that connection.
Well, no, exactly. And, in crypto and, blockchain, it's this trustless system, kind of in air quotes. And that's great and all, but, I don't like the term mass adoption because I like to take baby steps when I try to meet my goals. So I'm just hoping for more adoption. And I think for, take my wife, we've been married for 15 years, she has to, just through sheer attrition, she understands what, NFTs are now just by hearing me ramble about them. But to get her on board, there has to be a level of trust between the buyer and seller. I'm extremely bullish on account-bound tokens, or sometimes called soul-bound tokens, which basically will allow for people to have an accreditation assigned to them. They're not tradable. You can't sell them on the market, but it's something that they're going to be able to show to other people on the blockchain that they are, an accredited artist, and, help me define that. But, or they're an accredited NFT project founder, or they're an accredited dev, or maybe they're an accredited investor.
It's like a tokenized blue check.
No,
right.
Yeah, exactly. There is some questions kind of, behind, well, who is the third party administering?
Yeah. Who's the governing body there?
Yeah, exactly. And that still, needs to be worked out.
Well, and Neil, that's something I've been talking about a lot too, is I feel, and I come from a different space, but, I see the need for, an artist / founder trade association or collective, right? Because we are business owners, and business owners in all spaces pretty much see value in coming together, having a trade association to develop standards, to offer support to members, to, do a number of things.
Jay, I got to bounce, but I want you to keep the space going.
Okay, Hass, yeah.
Keep the party going. Love you all. Thank you for coming out.
I'll talk to you soon, buddy.
Fucking love you all.